Monday, July 20th, AD 2026. This is the World View in 5 minutes, written by yours truly and heard on 140 radio stations and at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. On July 7th, the European Parliament condemned Pakistan for its violation of human rights, citing a 13-year-old Christian Pakistani girl who is still fighting for her freedom from the 30-year-old Muslim man who abducted her, reports International Christian Concern. Maria Shabazz was kidnapped in July 2025 by Shahryar Ahmed, who forced her to convert to Islam and married her against her will. Alliance Defending Freedom came alongside her parents in their fight to regain custody of their child in Pakistan's Federal Constitutional Court in February. Pakistani law states that a minor cannot legally consent to religious conversion or marriage. But shockingly, the court ruled in favor of Ahmed when he presented a forged marriage certificate. In Matthew 18, verse 6, Jesus said, "If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea." Shabazz's parents are not giving up. They are still appealing their daughter's case in court, hoping that justice will swiftly come. According to Open Doors, Pakistan is the 8th worst country worldwide for the persecution of Christians. Send a polite 3-sentence letter to Rizwan Sheikh, the Pakistan ambassador to America, asking that he intervene. The address is 3517 International Court, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20008. 2 American soldiers were killed on July 17th in an Iranian attack on a U.S. military base in Jordan, reports the Western Journal. In a post on X, U.S. Central Command added, quote, 4 American service members were medically evacuated to Jordanian hospitals. They have since been discharged, end quote. Plus, 1 soldier is missing. Iran's attacks came after the U.S. launched its 7th consecutive night of airstrikes on Iran. Iranian state media has published a shocking video entitled, quote, "Where to Kill Trump," end quote, claiming to know the U.S. leader's motorcade route and the vulnerabilities within his security, reports The Express. The highly concerning footage claimed to reveal, quote, "information on the whereabouts of the terrorist president of America," end quote, while promising that, quote, "access to Trump is possible in these places," end quote. It also alleges to give details about the motorcade that protects the U.S. president, which typically consists of 40 to 50 vehicles. It comes after repeated death threats have been made by Iran following the U.S. assassination of former Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Last Thursday night, President Donald Trump addressed election security in a nationwide primetime address from the White House, pointing to ways American political leftists and China have compromised our elections, reports the Epoch Times.
You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. All we want is honesty in our elections. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world.
President Trump explained that China started compromising our elections in 2020.
Over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project.
And finally, President Trump vowed action to hold people accountable.
The documents we will release starting tonight, have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings we are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out. Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing.
In related news, during a Friday press briefing, Secretary of Homeland Security Mark Wayne Mullen promised to hunt down and prosecute illegal voters in the United States, noting that 250,000 non-citizens are illegally registered to vote in just 4 states, reports the Christian Post. Speaking in the wake of President Donald Trump's 25-minute primetime address about election security on July 16th, Mullen outlined an aggressive plan to tighten voter roll integrity, harden election infrastructure, and hold election officials accountable for alleged failures. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee has reintroduced legislation aimed at ending so-called birth tourism, following the Supreme Court's recent 6-3 ruling in Trump versus Barbara. It held that children born in the United States to illegal aliens and foreign tourists remain entitled to birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment, reports Big League Politics. She said, quote, Congress must step up to the plate to protect the integrity of American citizenship, end quote. The Ban Birth Tourism Act is co-sponsored by GOP Senators Ted Budd of North Carolina, John Cornyn of Texas, Cynthia Loomis of Wyoming, Tim Sheehy of Montana, Jim Banks of Indiana, and Rick Scott of Florida. The legislation would amend the Immigration and Nationality Act to explicitly prohibit foreign nationals from obtaining temporary visas for the purpose of giving birth in the United States. It would also classify birth tourism as a deportable offense, allowing immigration authorities to remove foreign nationals who enter the country for that purpose. Call your 2 senators anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, speaking to a live operator to leave a voicemail at 202-224-3121 and ask them to support the Ban Birth Tourism Act. That's 202-224-3121. On July 17th, churches in the Texas Hill Country opened their doors as flood displacement shelters, taking in families whose homes and recreational vehicles had been swept away by rapidly rising rivers that killed at least 2 people, reports the Christian Post. Recently, more than 30 inches of rain fell over several days, causing the Leona River and Guadalupe River to overflow. Floodwaters surged through the streets, destroying homes and stranding people and vehicles. The Christian relief group Samaritan's Purse said it was deploying a disaster relief unit to the Hill Country, with staff and volunteer teams set to work in Uvalde County. The group said it was basing operations out of Uvalde Methodist Church, with volunteers beginning on Sunday to help residents remove waterlogged belongings and clear mud from their homes. Consider making a donation to Samaritan's Purse to help the Texas victims of the flood through a special link in our transcript today at theworldview.com. 1 John 3:17 asks, if anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Deb Staley in Unadilla Forks, New York, wrote me and said, quote, the Worldview never disappoints. It's uplifting, informative, and to the point. The Bible verses are so very helpful, and I love the fact that there are limited news stories. If there were more, I'd begin to tune out. Thank you for what you do, end quote. David O'Hanlon in Burleson, Texas, wrote, quote, I have listened to your broadcast every weekday for about 2 years, which I support monthly. You bring news, especially the persecution of the church, which I do not hear anywhere else, end quote. And Melissa in Bradford, Arkansas wrote, quote, I listen to your newscast on my lunch break. I like it because it's truthful news about real people. Plus, you talk about stuff others do not. Thank you, end quote. And finally, by Saturday night at 10 p.m. Central, 26 Worldview listeners stepped up to the plate and invested their treasure to fund the 6-member team behind the Worldview for another year. Our thanks to Kenyon in Merritt Island, Florida, who gave $25, Augustine in Auburn, California, who gave $30, Cheryl in Westmoreland, Tennessee, who gave $75, as well as Steve in Mission Viejo, California, David and Martha in Bryan Township, New Jersey, Dean in Carroll Stream, Illinois, Susan in Fairmont, West Virginia, Linda in Lutz, Florida, and an anonymous donor in Alpharetta, Georgia, all 6 of whom gave $100. We were touched by the generosity of Tammy in Dry Ridge, Kentucky, Rose in Everson, Washington, Amy in Seminole, Texas, and Robin in Simsbury, Connecticut, all of whom gave $200, as well as the McVeda family in Great Falls, Montana, who gave $205, and Calvin in Odessa, Minnesota, who gave $250. We appreciated the sacrifice of Dennis and Catherine in Palm Bay, Florida, and Joan in West Palm Beach, Florida, both of whom gave $300, as well as David and Sonia in Austin, Texas, who decided to continue giving $25 per month for another 12 months for a gift of $300. And we're grateful to God for Ed in Flagler, Colorado, Mike and Sarah in California, Maryland, who listen to Redeemer Radio, WSMD, and an anonymous donor in Estancia, New Mexico, each of whom gave $500, as well as Vivian in Castle Rock, Colorado, who gave $600, Gina in Huntsville, Alabama, who gave $728, Daniel in Ironton, Minnesota, who gave $1,000, an anonymous donor in Pinckney, Michigan, who pledged $100 per month for 12 months for a gift of $1,200, and a second anonymous donor in Hopewell Junction, New York, who pledged $100 per month for 12 months for a gift of $1,200. Those 26 gifts add up to $9,113. Ready for our new grand total? Drum roll, please. $38,953. That means we need to raise $42,273.50 to hit our $81,226.50 goal by this Friday, July 24th. The finish line is $123,500 by Friday, July 31st, to be fully funded for another year. In order to hit our July 24th goal, we need to find 12 Worldview listeners who will pledge $100 per month for 12 months or give a one-time gift of $1,200, 23 folks who will pledge $50 per month or give a one-time gift of $600, and 46 listeners who will pledge $25 per month or give a one-time gift of $300. Please go to theworldview.com. Click on Give. Select the dollar amount and make sure to click on the recurring button if that's your wish. Remember, if you want to continue your monthly pledge to the Worldview that you started in a previous year, please let me know so we can count your generous ongoing gift toward our total. What is the Lord asking you to do with the resources He's given you to steward? And that's the Worldview on this Monday, July 20th in the year of our Lord 2026. Subscribe for free by Spotify, Amazon Music, or by iTunes or email to our unique Christian newscast at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. Seize the day for Jesus Christ.
This has been a production of the Generations Media Network. For more information, go to generations.org/media.
Thanks for listening to The Worldview in 5 minutes. If you want to go deeper than the headlines and build a biblical worldview in your home, Generations has resources to help you anchor your family in truth. Books, curriculum, and tools for every stage of life. And right now, listeners get 15% off any order with the code WV5. Just use WV and the number 5 at checkout at generations.org. Thanks for staying grounded in God's Word with us every day.